And hello and welcome to the very first episode. So what are we going to be doing? Well, we're going to be starting a completely new world. First and foremost, you start up the game and you're going to come to this main menu, and if you don't particularly like what your guy looks like, you can click here on your customized character. First thing you want to do is click over here to basic. You're going to have three different options here. You can choose between male and female. You can choose the head shape. We're going Lex Luthor, so we're going a nice baldy here. Yeah, skins you can mess around with as well. If you want to be Blue Man, by all means you can do that. You have the option. I would love it if we had the option to add beards in the future. We're not going to mess around with this too much. Yeah, why not? And trim white on that. Matchy. But yeah, for now, that'll do. Things like the outfits and all of that you can mess around with. Everything from hats to different heads. You can have a horse head if you're so inclined. And that is customization in a nutshell. Alright, the second thing that you want to be paying attention to is making sure that you open up your free chests that you get every day. Opening up these nets you a chance of getting some rarer chests, which are quite useful, especially for newer players. But yeah, just having access to a few super extractors per day is also really good. The cool thing about this game, everything is saved up server side, so you don't need to have your own server or anything like that. So what is quite handy is we seem to have spawned on a treetop here, which is quite useful because we could set up our first base up here in the trees. Well, I was really worried I was going to fall there. I'm going to just suck that back up. So our touchstone we use to basically set home base and set where we can teleport to. Leaves are somewhat useful, but what we're really trying to do is get up there. So we can use the leaves to scaffold ourselves up to the top and then set up a base on the treetop there. I'm just going to flatten this out so it doesn't look too weird. Now I could use my glider to get up there, but I'm going to just be demonstrating how you would actually get up if you don't have access to that, without necessarily taking away the whole side of the tree here. So you're going to jump and hit spacebar. You can actually get a couple off and just scaffold yourself up so you can get to the top of the tree here. While we're here, we're also going to try and grab this, and we managed to get a queen bee. That's going to be useful for us later, and there's some flowers we can grab too. Okay, so that's not bad. We could take away all of these leaves and go down to the wood and then set up sort of like a platform down there. That might not be a bad option too. The nice thing about being this high up is that you're not having to worry too much about everything that is a problem at night. So I have just flattened out the top of this tree, which is a nice little starting spot for us. We're gonna drop down our touchpad or touchstone here by right clicking, and whatever we've got here in our toolbar at the bottom, we can just sort of drop that down. Oh, we got some bees. I do have access to the glider, so I'm actually just going to use that. You hit G to use your glider, and I can get to the next treetop from here, which just so happens to have some vines, so we're going to grab that because that's definitely needed. So I've hollowed out this tree a little bit, and I don't particularly like it. I don't particularly like to sort of mine away trees that you can see gaps and things. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use some of this extra leaves that I mined up earlier, just to top this off a little bit so that it doesn't look so weird. So we're going to go in here and just close that up, because I like having it a little neat, and also it doesn't really look like it's been mined, you know. So now we have some leaves, we've got some wood, we've got a few vines that's going to be useful. We're going to need things like stone and mushroom next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to again grab my glider. Another option you have is you could jump off the trees into the water here. While we're down here though, speaking of water, I'm just going to grab some of that. You'll notice the more stuff you sort of pick up, the more recipes you're going to unlock. Like for example, if I take mud, unlock, well, mud. If I grab that, I unfortunately don't have this type of wood, so I can't fix this tree. But I could do that now. The moss that I just picked up, you're going to use for the first torches that you get. So that's the main reason why you want to pick that up. That looks a bit better. Baby leafy. So let's see, we got some water, we got some mud, which isn't so useful right now. Oh yeah, mushrooms. Oops. Oh yeah, that might happen. My apologies. I also play Warframe quite a lot, for those of you familiar with the game. And I've got my run mapped in that game to Q, so occasionally I'm going to open up the crafting menu by accident. So apologies in advance. So there we are. Mushrooms you can generally find around the bottoms of trees. So we can go ahead and just pick up a couple of those. What is quite handy is the fact that with one of the recent updates, I really could not tell you which one, you gained the ability to actually farm mushrooms. Come on. We're a little slow. While we're down here, we're going to grab some stone as well, because that's necessary for crafting tables or processes, I believe they're called. So yeah, we're going to do that. And we've almost got enough to sort of get our very first base set up on our treetops there. Okay, so let's have a little look. Processes require stone, vines, and cragwood. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 of those. We now have access to a couple more recipes. So that's cool. We want to get our stone mining cells as soon as possible. We need a processor for the wood slab, and we need some coal. We're going to pop down one of these processors. And just make a few wooden slabs. You do also have the option to hold down shift and you can do multiples of 5, but I don't want to do too many of those and leave this processor down here for too long. We're just going to grab a few little things, and of course we're looking for coal. Now normally if you are playing, you're not going to have this much light. I do have access to a flashlight with pro mode, so normally what you would then do instead, you would go down to craft, have a look at, I believe it's under explore, and you have access to torches. And here we go, here's the moss torches. You simply need wood and some moss. We can go ahead and make some of those. Also you'll see while we're here, having access to wood and vines gives you a wooden sword. Stone sword requires wood rods, bone, and twine. So what we could do if we wanted to get that one and skip over the wooden one is just come here and take out this poor defenseless little leafy. Middle mouse button is like a power attack, which does have a cooldown. Alright, so I think we're still missing some things though, but while we're here as well, click in inventory. So you'll most likely have access to at least 2 basic login bundles when you first start. I'm going to go ahead and open 2 of those only. And This is going to give us access to 6 super extractors, which should give us more than enough coal to get started. Whoops. So yeah, 3 of those. I'm going to save the other 3 for some obsidian, which is going to help us out in the beginning, especially getting things like farming tools and such. And while I'm here, I might as well get some fossils. We cannot suck this up without the stone mining cell. And check that super fast. So we have access to 63 coal already. And is it night time yet? No, it's still night. So we still have some time. Just pick that up real quick. Right. So stone swords, we needed twine. Twine we get from processing. Fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do like 5 or so of those. And we have access to that for later, for weapons and such. Quickly think. So, weaponry, we could upgrade to that. All we need is a wooden rod and some more bone. Let's chuck this down, and we want to make some wooden rods. I think 1 stack of that would one of those would be fine. We could technically make no, that would be enough to make like 3, so we're not gonna bother with that. Oh yeah, while we're here and we're waiting for those, I'm gonna pick up some grass. Picking up grass has a chance to, there we go, give you a wheat seed. And once you have your first wheat seed, you'll get more seeds. Every time you harvest, you can basically turn one of the harvested wheat into 2 seeds, so you can multiply it that way. But yeah, I have 3 to start with, so that's decent. We have some twine, we have some wood rods. I'm gonna suck both these guys up. And come to think of it, while I'm here, I might as well grab some dirt, because I'm gonna need that for my tree farm. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, yeah, so dropping down torches is useful. It's also not a bad idea to pop your healing into one of these first slots, so you have quicker access to it. I think I'm gonna rather use that for healing right now, because I want to create some farms for that. Let's see, what are we missing for the sword? Sword, we're missing bone, so you could just find some twiggies or something real quick. Okay, and just a couple hits and a middle hit, middle mouse button hit is what I meant. Alright, and go back to dig, grab those mushrooms while we're here. Alright, now I'm just gonna get this little one as well, get a few extra bones, it's never bad. Oh cool, I didn't know you got arc stones from them. So we can now make 1 of those. That's not a bad start. We could go up and start working on our base now. Get a few things set up, which I think would be possibly the best next step for us. Other than, of course, getting our stone mining cell. Yeah, I think we're going to use the red ones rather, because that means that we can still duplicate those. Alright, so we got a better mining cell. Having a better mining cell means that mine stuff up a bit faster, especially things from 1 tier below. Cool, and now when we want to just get back to our base, we could have a staircase or something that we build to go up. I'm actually going to build an elevator later. I just need to find the right water for it. But the other option is we click T and we hit teleport, and it takes about 4 seconds. So if you're being chased by I don't know, let's say a trog or something, that will stop your teleport. So anyway, we have a nice little spot here. This is perfect for our beginning needs. What we're going to do is just drop down our processes. We're going to create a little room for them. We're going to work towards our forge. We need stone slabs and bedrock we forgot about. Okay, but we're up here and we're safe now, and it's night, so it's all good. And I think what I'm going to do over here, we'll make a nice staircase later, but for the time being, we're just going to extend this out so we can easily get up and down here. And then we're going to create a little tree canopy. I'm just going to extend that out a little bit so that it looks more natural. Okay, and what I want to do inside here is basically create a little mushroom box. Obviously didn't need to look like this, but now we're going for the aesthetics now a little bit. You might be asking yourself, well, how do you make mushrooms? You can chuck those in and you turn each mushroom into one spore, but when you harvest a mushroom that grows from a tile that you've basically farmed like this, you get 2 mushrooms back. Okay, and we can drop these in while we're at it as well. Okay, so I should have enough spores now to set up that. Now, the only thing I haven't tested out yet is whether or not you need to actually have water under this. But just for safety, because generally that's how these farms work, that there needs to be a block of water under it, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're just going to go ahead and fill that in. Chuck down dirt on top, and we're going to chuck down some spores. Okay, and we'll come back and check on those a little bit later. Now, we need a forge. Forge was missing bedrock, right? Okay, so now the other option you have, other than just jumping off the tree and hoping for the best, which, you know, is an option, I guess, which due to lag we just dealt with. But alright, I think we're just going to do that. We're just going to drop down. We're alright, or use up one of our health potions. And here's some mushrooms anyway, so we've got some extra healing. Okay, we do have a stone sword now, so we'll take on this night pigsy. And really not much trouble anymore. Alright, so I unfortunately did not mark my mine with torches, which was a bit silly, but it is what it is. And I just saw some ledges there, but I want those bones. I'm going to just use my glider to get up here quick, because what you see there is a treasure chest. Alright, some torches, not bad. Beeswax isn't bad. I suppose the flowers also not too bad. Is this the same one as earlier? But anyway, we're going to go ahead and mark it so we can find it in the dark again, should we need to. But yeah, here's some mushrooms. We're going down for the... I forget what it was called. Bedrock. We were going down for bedrock. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need a counter. There's a counter there for me. 6. Might as well get for 2 forges. Sorry, my cat is tickling my toes right now. Okay, and while we're here, we're going to grab a bit more coal. So, as you can see, we got a bit of bedrock now. We're going to go ahead and create 1, 2, we can probably do 3, but we don't really need those yet. We can also now make our own extractors, just the basic version. These are a lot slower and also don't give you back as much, but they are still somewhat useful. Got some coal, we got our extractors. The next thing to do is to start looking for obsidian and that sort of resources, but for now we're going to go back up to my base again, which is literally just the tree platform. What we're going to do now is just get our first little house going here, and we're just going to do something basic here. Now, for those who don't know, you can hold down R and then click to rotate your bricks in Creativerse. So you can either have this as your inside wall, so you've got a flat wall inside, and this way you can kind of add depth to your builds as well, which is quite handy. And we'll move these in as well once we've got this all set up. Now maybe just something like that. It's not completely square. Just going for something really basic out of wood. So we'll just drop those two down like that, and then we can put down maybe even one like in the middle floor like that, and then another one, oops, another one next to it like that. So I don't have to walk too far to use it. Yeah, that's sort of okay for now. It's not too complicated. Just a box basically. And we're just going to create a few of those for a roof. Pop that in there. Something like that. Oh, and if you hold down C, you can walk to the edge like this and you won't fall off. Cool. Yeah. Not my best work. In my head, I could do something else with this, but let's not get too complicated with the design. I can figure something else proper in the future, but for the time being, that's what we're doing, and that's fine. So we have a little space to teleport to. We have our forges here. Once we find the obsidian, and we have some processes to run a few things here. What we don't have at this point is storage. I think the one that's going to give us the most storage, of course, is the Arctech chest, which is what I'm going to go for here. And we're still going to want, I think, at least a handful of those. Now the plow, yeah, thought so. It needs obsidian. Taming collar. We can tame things now, but it's quite difficult without stuns. But we could try that. But again, you need obsidian to get any rewards from them. So, and same for cooking. So definitely the next thing we want to be doing. Alright, well guys, thank you for watching. That is gonna be it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to be carrying on, starting with mining and getting our first bit of obsidian, so that we can set up a farm and just upgrade our weaponry and our mining cells. So if you found this useful or interesting, or hell, if you just found it fun watching me kind of stumble through this first episode and you would like to see more, go ahead and give us a like, so you know, I know that you guys are enjoying this and all of that. And yeah, again, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.